And hello, welcome to solo playthroughs. Just making sure this is set up right, because woo, this back-to-back live stream might not be the ideal thing when I only have 5 minutes between. But I think we're good. Just been getting Blob off the table. We got Barkham Horror on the table, and woo, I don't play this scenario enough, and that's never gonna change. It's like one of those things that it's just really fun, but it's just getting it to the table when there's you have to build a deck and it's only a one-off and there's no campaign. It just feels like a lot for what it is, but what it is amazing. I mean, despite that, it's just fun. When I first got this, I was like, man, am I really spending $20 for this? And I'm like, yeah, I guess I am. And I just didn't expect much. Like my friend Steve and I, like Steve was like my we played over 100 games of Arkham, easy, 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 and I was like, ah, we'll see. It's gonna be goofy, but it's really good. It's a really good scenario, and it's just all the little touches. They just this was like a it's almost just like, hey, they're designing for work, and it's always a passion. If you're in game design, I get it, but there seemed to be something special about this, where this was like definitely a project of love, and the designers went all out, and they did a really good job. And the more you know the game, and the more you know, especially those early cycles, and you see what they did with the art, and you see what they did with some of the wording, you're like, wow, this is really, 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 really clever, and it's got nuggets everywhere. Whereas I was like, it's like, because then all the art is repurposed from other games, but everything is now a cat. Because of course it is. It's fantastic. So I'm looking forward to having a good time with this one. Man, I draft my decks, I threw together a Skids deck. Skids Ode Rule deck, to be clear. I'm not even going to bother going through it. We'll see what comes out. I did throw in 19 XP, I think. Or did I just throw in 9 XP? I think I just threw in 9 XP. But I have the High Roller, the upgraded Backstab. Yeah, I just have 9 XP in here. I have a Switchblade. So, yeah, 9 XP deck. So I just have the one basic weakness, which could be really, really bad if it comes out at the wrong time. Did I give myself less XP than I could have? No, and then I have the lock picks, right? So that's my non XP. So we're just gonna throw this together. I will read the flavor text on the back because it's freaking awesome. Let me go through the chat really quick. Alfred Wallace, finally I get to see Arkham Horror played in its purest form. Yeah, dude, it's great. Mike says, rough. I have this sitting on my shelf, so I'm pumped to see how it actually plays out. And then Alfred Wallace says, let's also celebrate the first appearance of the tag Barkham Horror on YouTube. It's getting harder to make a first tag. Oh man, Mike claps. Finding Phoenix says I'm not a dog person, so I'm cheering for the cats. All right, man. I'm gonna make some enemies with this one. I get people love their pets, but I don't understand why multiple times every day, I'm not even exaggerating, every day, somewhere, either on Reddit or Facebook or Twitter, someone has to post a picture of one of their pets near their board games and act like they're the most clever person in the world and say, oh, I have a new playing partner for Arkham, or oh my gosh, the miniatures and command are getting ridiculous. Holy cow, nothing's original with these jokes. Like absolutely nothing. It just drives me bananas. I just please make it stop. Someone, if there was a filter, I could be like, I just don't want to see another one of those jokes or joke attempts at this point for me ever again. I'd be so happy. But I know those pictures make so many people so happy. So I don't want to be the guy pissing in their Cheerios or raining in their parade or whatever. So I hate to be that guy sometimes, but it drives me nuts. All right, so Eric is staking his claim for Meowlathotep. At least we have someone rooting for the bad guys. I appreciate it. And here is the king of the cats, I guess, queen of the cats, the old one of the cats. We'll put that up there. Mike says, "How do I post a picture of my dog playing Arkham in chat?" Please do, man. So Schizo Drool, the Pound Escapee. That is correct. So deck size 30, road cards, neutral, up to 5 other level 0 cards that can move you. I took the max. Is it probably the best strategy? No, I just did. So Track Shoes move you. You have the Truth Beckons moves you. Astral Travel moves you. Survival Instinct moves you. And then I have a shortcut. Great. We have and by move, we do not mean physically. We do mean physically, not emotionally. Excellent. Skids' own drool always wanted to be a good boy, but his nose for trouble kept landing him in the pound, where the bad dogs go. Usually, this was because of his favorite pastime, begging to go for a car ride, then fervently wrenching the wheel away from the hapless human. How this obsession with cars began, we may never know. All we know is that the other driver should be careful when Skids is on the loose. Naturally. So he has an action here. Spend a resource to move. You give a human puppy dog eyes until they give you a car ride. Move up to 3 times, ignoring enemy engagement. Limit once per round. The Elder Sign effect is +2. Deal 1 damage to the next enemy whose location you enter this round. This is only a standalone. You cannot put this in your cane. And there are several cards that are Barkham only, and I took all of them because thematically, why not? There are 17 chaos tokens in the bag. Make sure I got that right, because I did just have to quickly change the bag after the last playthrough I just did. Great. So we have no frost tokens, which is nice. I was tired of looking at those suckers. 3 -1s, a -2, a -3, a -4, a second -2, 2 zeros, a +1, a cultist, a tablet, an elder thing, a skull, an auto lose, and the elder sign. Fantastic. So this is all going to go in my little bag here. Again, these are upgraded tokens. My friend went nuts and purchased all the extras and upgraded stuff for Arkham, and I get the benefit of having it in my house because this is where we play. So that's great. So I'm still waiting for Mike to post a picture of his dog. I mean, you might just have to post it on like Twitter and just put a link. It'd probably be just the same. I'm going to start with 5 resources. And we'll do that. So for those who don't know the backstory, Barkham Horror was originally posted as a April Fool's joke a couple of years back, and people went, it's probably 5 years back at this point. God, time is flying. People went crazy for it. So MJ and or MK and the other design team was like, hey, let's make it a reality. So I believe a lot of the pictures of the animals in here are literally the dogs and cats of the design team, but I don't know how much that is true. I think it's at least true for some of it, but then you'll see, again, like repurposed art, right? So this is the stray cat, the survivor card is now the estranged cat, and it's, on the cats are always bad now, right? So it is one of the encounter cards. So just crazy, crazy stuff. Let's get into the Meddling of Meowlathotep. Not a cat's chance in hell. Barkham Horror, blah, 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 standalone, additional rules, lousy with cats. We'll get to all that. The Meddling of Meowlathotep. We may indeed judge the tone and bias of a civilization by its relative attitude towards dogs and cats. H.P. Lovecraft, Cats and Dogs. It is a dark and stormy night in the storied and haunted city of Barkham. By the time you hit the streets, it is raining cats and dogs, but you've picked up the scent of something big. And once you sink your teeth into a story, you just can't let go. A little wet fur has never stopped you from finding the truth. Strange happenings have been going on in Barkham. Cat sightings are at an all-time high, and each day more and more pigeons go missing. While this wouldn't normally be newsworthy, you know that there is more to this story than meets the eye. After all, while a few cats are harmless and adorable, kind of, most are nefarious schemers. You have heard the whispers and howls on the wind. The order of dead rodents on the doorstep is back, and whatever they are plotting, only you can stop it. You're heading back to your home in Slobbertown, the Barkham neighborhood closest to the docks, when you catch a whiff of something foul and pungent in the air. Whatever is causing such an acrid stench must be nearby, but just then, another scent! So, do we follow this foul scent, or do we follow the scent of bacon? I mean, I just can't decide. So I'm going to roll a die, roll the 5, following the scent of bacon. Intro 3. The investigation can wait. Bacon is eternal. You follow that lovely smell northeast to Velma's Doghouse in Beast Town. The sounds of revelry and sizzling of grilled food makes your tail wag faster than the cracking of a whip, and yet something else tugs at the back of your dog brain. What was it you were doing before? Nope, food. Skip to intro 6, or, oh yeah, investigating the order. Skip to intro 7. Oh, we gave up on the bacon. Oh, upset. Whoever had that, go claim your money at the Cashier, please. All right, the urgency of your investigation is too important for you to be distracted by thoughts of tasty food. As you turn away from Velma's, you spot a streak of cat fur dipping gracefully out of sight. Using your keen sense of smell, you keep a tight pursuit as the cat winds its way west to Taleside, where Barkham's train station can be found. You follow the cat to the tracks on the western edge of town, where it ducks underneath an abandoned train car marked with a cat's paw print. Meow, Massachusetts Catnip Co. reads the label beneath the logo. A front for a cult headquarters, no doubt. You're about to eavesdrop on the cat's refuge when suddenly a creature bursts forth from underneath the train. It is a hideous hybrid of bird, bat, and cat with webbed paws and membranous wings, notably lacking in fur, though its face is unmistakably feline. The sight of the thing makes your fur stand on end. Proceed to set up. You will begin play in Taleside. Great. So we have all the cards from this set, and we have to set these up. So obviously did not have a chance to do that. Try to set these up. His win ratio is better than mine, says Mike. Yeah, I'll bet, dude. It's like it took me years of pestering. I mean, loving, jovial pestering to get my wife to play this game. She won the first 13 scenarios we played. Now I built her a deck, but I really try hard not to tell her what to do. It actually frustrates her. She's like, just tell me what to do. I'm like, no, you're playing, like engage with the game. But we won the first 13 scenarios in a row when I played with her, and every time she just looked at me afterwards like, what's the big deal? Like, I don't get it. Why is this so hard? And I'm like, you don't understand like how lucky you are. Like, it was crazy. We did Miskatonic, we did Midnight Mass, we got all 6 of the freaking cultist. It was just nuts, man. We did the scenario in Dunwich. We got all of the Brood of Yog-Sothoth. But then we went to the Carcosa, and all of a sudden the tables turned, and we lost like 2 scenarios in a row. And she's like, I don't want to play anymore. So it's like, whatever, dude. I love my wife. She just doesn't like competitive games or cooperative games. She wants to kick my ass in games, and I mean, I get it. I have a kickable ass, I guess. So we haven't played Arkham since. But maybe she would like Barkham. Probably not. So we are going to now. Yeah. So where am I starting again? I can't remember. I start in Taleside. Taleside is where you go when you need to see a dog about a man, naturally. And we are going to flip that over. Taleside has Shroud value 3, Clue value of 1. Spend 2 resources. You pursue a raccoon for no reason. Move to Beast Town. Group limit once per round. Catching a train here is about as difficult as catching your own tail. And we'll put 1 clue on that. Adjacencies in this game are really nice. I mean, by adjacency, I mean connections. They're really, really flexible. I mean, basically, if you are diagonally or orthogonally next to something, you are pretty much guaranteed to be adjacent to it. You can get very far, very fast, and that's especially great with Skids O'Drool's special action here. I mean, I can get from there to there using 1 resource. It's really, really nuts. Or you have these special, again, these are all fast abilities. So again, spending resources to kind of run around there can be also very useful. So now we're going to take the 7 Meowsk enemies. Notwithstanding that really foreboding intro, it doesn't look like we start with one of these on the board. Thought that might have been where that was going for a second. And we're going to just randomly remove one of these from the game. And now the other 6 are going to go underneath these 6 locations that are outside this like center square here. Super fun. And done. And then each of those locations is lousy with cats. A location is no longer lousy with cats if the encounter card beneath it is removed for any reason. We set Meowlathotep aside, and we're now reshuffling the encounter cards to form the encounter deck, and we're now ready to begin playing. So one thing I always do wrong in setting up Arkham is you're supposed to actually do your draw and do your mulligan before you actually do the rest of setup. I just find that kind of inane, so I just don't. I think most scenarios you would probably make the same choices. Sometimes you might get a little information you shouldn't have, but if you're being very, very, very technical, which does matter with some cards, again, you're supposed to have your deck. You're supposed to have your starting hand before you do the rest of setup. So we're going to put this over here. Alright, drawing up to my starting hand. What do we get? Intel report. Like to see you. Hair of the dog. Barkham deck only. Max 1 committed per skill test. After the test ends, the investigator performing the test gets -2 skill value for the next test they perform because they are clearly drunk. Go home, dog. You are drunk. Didn't even know that text was there. Hilarious. Backstab. Survival instinct. And shortcut. Well, I definitely want some more assets. I'm going to do a pretty deep mulligan. Keep intel report asset. High roller will do. Overpower. Breaking and entering. And watch this. Alright, not the greatest. Not the greatest starting hand ever. But we should be able to make it work. Let me get to the agenda and the act. So the agenda of cats and dogs. You're hot on the trail of a cat conspiracy. A catspiracy, if you will. As a fast ability, investigators at a location that is lousy with cats may spend 2 clues per investigator, so 2 in a true solo game. As a group, add the card beneath the location to the victory display. If you're at a location that is lousy with cats, flip this card beneath it over and spawn it at that location exhausted. So I can either choose to get rid of the I can spend clues to get rid of this and it goes to the victory display, or I can choose to have it come out. It comes out exhausted, but obviously it will ready an upkeep phase and it will engage like a normal enemy. They are all Meowsk enemies. We know that going in. This has a doom threshold of 4. And then 9 lives. Dogs all across town report seeing strange cats growling, or not growling, no, cats don't growl, prowling around several locations in Barkham. Perhaps if you investigate those areas, you can root out the cat monsters that dwell within. Objective at the start of the investigation phase, if no locations are lousy with cats, you can advance. Whew. Phoenix Knight, ridiculous and pointless to do with doing scenario setup the night before filming a video. Oh, yeah, for sure. All right. I am going to, I did my mulligan. We advance when there are no locations that are lousy with cats. I'm going to spend 2 to get High Roller out. Not sure. Again, my stat line is 2334. Not sure I want to risk High Roller on a Shroud value of 3. Could just spend the 2 to get that clue. Yeah, I like that. I'm going to use Intel Report. Spend 2, get that clue. And then I'm going to move. Yoink, south side, snout side. I'm going to mess up some of this flavor text for sure. They've got a lid on every trash can and a fence around every tree. Shroud value 1, clue value 1, spend 2 resources. You chase the delivery truck to the north, move to tail side. This comes into play with 1 clue. And that's going to be a lot easier for me to investigate. So enemy phase, upkeep phase, draw a card. It's backstab, take a resource. Backstab is great. So it's the upgraded backstab. So if you succeed by 2 or more, you get to put it back in your hand. But that's very expensive unless you get like a lone wolf out there or something to really keep that generation going. Or your Jenny Barnes, for instance. We put the first doom on the agenda. We grab the top encounter card. What is it? On your tail. If there are no enemies in play, on your tail gain surge. Okay. That was easy. And Servant of Dog Sotheth. Location with the most enemies, including face down and counter cards, alert and retaliate. So there are no enemies anywhere where I am. Servant of Dog Sotheth. I'm not set up to deal with it. I'm just going to put it over in Velma's doghouse. It's not a hunter, and we'll deal with that later maybe. That 4 health is pretty nasty, so until I get like my Switchblade or something, I'm not going to be too excited about dealing with that one. I'm going to investigate a 3 to a 1 over here in Snout side. And I can't commit. It's not. Watch this is not for investigations. So 3 to a 1. My +1. Look at me. I get a clue. My second action, I'm going to move to Boneyard. Shroud value 1, clue value 2. After you successfully investigate Boneyard by 2 or more, place 1 resource on Boneyard as a bone. What did you expect? If there are 1 investigator bones on boneyard. Nice, that's a lot of bones. Remove them. Remember that you buried the bones a few meters from where you found them. Awesome. There's a victory point there. I have one more action. I'm going to, as a fast action, spend these 2 clues and put this card in the victory display using the ability on there. So I put the Mewling Hunger in play. That has a parlay ability if I scored some tasty food, which I have not. So Mewling Hunger is out. We only have 5 more locations that are lousy with cats. I still do have one more action. I really wish I could use watch this with this, but I'll be investigating a 3-2-1 to try to get this clue with my third action. Oh, Elder Sign. +2, deal 1 damage to the next enemy whose location you're at enter this round. So I successfully got the clue, and I also get a bone on here, and then I'll be able to do that ability next turn, and remember that I buried some bones, which is great. So enemy phase, upkeep phase, I draw a card. It is scout ahead. I take a resource. I'm very much not getting set up here, which makes me a little bit nervous. That's not getting my assets. We go to the Mythos phase, the second Doom, encounter card. What are you? It is the Gaze of the Ceiling Cat. Test 5 willpower. For each one you fail by, either lose 1 resource or discard. Lose 1 resource and what? Oh, lose 1 resource or choose and discard 1 card from your hand. If this effect forces you to lose all your resources and discard all your cards, you feel really creeped out. Oof. Well, that's not great. Bye-bye resources, I guess. I mean, I can get rid of some of this stuff. Alright, so I'm testing a 2 to a 5. I get, a -5. So I failed by 5. I'm going to discard Breaking and Entering. I'm going to discard Scout Ahead. I don't want to get rid of the rest of these. And then I lose these 3 resources. So resource generation is a problem early. My turn. I'm going to do this action on here. And remember that I buried the bones a few meters away. So we have done that. I'll put a reminder on there. Where are tokens? Cool. And now I'm going to investigate a 3 to a 1. Try to get that last clue there. -1, so drawing well. And then I need resources bad. I'm just going to gain a resource. Enemy phase, upkeep phase. I'm going to draw a card. It is sneak by. If I do an evasion attempt, I can gain 2 resources at the beginning of that. That could be nice. We'll get a resource. Mythos phase, third Doom. Encounter card. Another Servant of Dog-Sothith, location with the most enemies. So it has to go there. So they're just kind of chilling. That's a weird card. I feel like I'm missing something. It's not a hunter. Yeah, I mean, they'll just chill up there. Great. My turn. I'm going to move to St. Mary's Hospital. It says, St. Mary's Animal Hospital. We're going for a car ride, they said. It'll be fun, they said. St. Mary's Animal Hospital, shout 3, clue value 2, heal 3 damage once per game. Or take a damage, I can parlay, I can test 4 intellect to schedule a visit to the vet for a cat. This is physically painful for you. If you can see, remember that a cat has an appointment with a vet. That's going to be next to impossible for me to do that. I'm going to now spend these 2 clues to get rid of this. It is the Hisser in the Dark. Just totally the haunting horror from the Miskatonic Museum scenario. Alert Hunter gets +1 health. Monster Meowsk Elite. The cat that came back. Some of these are ridiculous. The Capricious Twins. Man, these are great. That will go there. So my first action was I moved. It's a fast action. I got rid of that. I have 2 more actions. I will Draw a card. The hair of the dog. Man, I'm just picking none of my assets. And then I'll move to Miskatonic University. Miskatonic University, only the smartest and goodest pups make it to the Miskatonic University Obedience School. Their students can earn doctorates in advanced mathematics, fine art, and not be afraid of the vacuum cleaner. That's freaking great. Wait, I don't look at that. So this says travel value 4, clue value 1. As an action once per game, I can draw 3 cards. Might do that next turn. I definitely need some resources too. And then I can discard cards in my hand with a total of at least 3 willpower or intellect skill icons. Remember that I just brushed up on cat physiology. Ooh. I mean, those will link with the various Meowsk enemies. You know, obviously one came out of the game. So oh, this is funny. While the history in the dark is engaged with you, if you enter and leave each of the central locations in one turn, it becomes extremely dizzy. So you basically, if you go there, again, those are fast actions. So if you just spend a lot of resources, you can just like get rid of it that way. Oh, that's amazing. All right, so what I moved, I drew a card, and then I moved. I didn't feel too good about investigating there against a Shroud value of 3, but we'll see. So enemy phase, upkeep phase. I'm going to draw a card. It's Unexpected Courage. I'm going to take a resource. I'm finally back up to 3. Mythos phase, 4th Doom on the agenda. The summoning is complete. Now one of the myriad masks of Meowlathotep prowls the streets of Barkham. It's up to you to put an end to this menace before its true master is unveiled. If no locations are lousy with cats, advance to Agenda 2A. If at least one location is lousy with cats, find the one that is farthest from the all investigators, flip that card beneath the location over and spawn it at that location. Reset the agenda deck to Agenda 1A. So this is farthest from all investigators. I'm flipping this over and we have the Cat of Tindalos. Hunter, retaliate, has 3 health plus 1 per investigator, so 4 health. If you possess a ball of yarn, I clearly do not, you throw the ball of yarn into a perfect 90-degree corner. The cat of Tindalos predictably follows it into an extra-dimensional pocket, added to the victory display. That is amazing. And if you read Norman Withers' book, you will know just how amazing that is. Oh, it's so freaking awesome, dude. Oh, man, I love this. I am going to now grab an encounter card. Oh, it's so awesome. Ding. Yeah, that gains surge. That's why. I was like, why do I have 1 extra encounter card than I should? Math. Oh, this is bad. I'm about to fail this really badly. Nah, maybe not. So it's a squirrel. You must chase it. I can test 4 agility. And for each one I fail by, I lose an action. Oh, I don't know if it makes sense. Could try to double my money here. Sure. I'm going to commit Unexpected Courage and watch this and spend this 3. Oh, this is so risky. But I have Backstab, and it looks like that's going to be how I'm going to need to kill things. So I really, really need to get some resources. But again, if I have to succeed by 1 or more for Backstab for watch this to kick in, I could do this. Yeah, let me commit Hair of the Dog. I'm not doing any more tests this turn anyway, it doesn't seem like. So I'm doing that. It's going to be a 3, 7. Oh, yeah, it's an agility test. That's great. 3, 7, 8 to a 4. I just want to succeed by at least 1. And I don't want to lose all my actions. -2. I succeed by 1, so I doubled my money. My next skill test I perform this round, I have -2 to that skill value. So I'm just not going to perform any more tests, but that was helpful. My first action, I'm going to draw 3 cards. Dog Watchers, yikes. 2 and 3. I have 2 more actions. My next one, though, I'm at -2. I have -2 to the next one I do. So I'm going to have -2. I'm going to try to do an evade. So the Dog Watchers is my unique weakness. After you enter Dog Watcher's location or Dog Catcher's location or Dog Catcher's enters your location, you cannot move for the remainder of the round. So I'm doing a 3. I'm doing a 4 to a 3. It becomes a 2 to a 3. because I'm drunk, and that's a thing that happens sometimes with me. What happens now? Bam! I get minus X. X is half the number of mouse enemies in play or victory display, so that's 3. So it becomes 1.5. Round up to 2, so I fail. And now my third action, I'm going to take the 3 money I got because of what's this. I'm going to play backstab, and now I'm testing a 4 to a 2, and I'm going to use high roller, a 6 to a 2 to do 3 damage, and if I succeed by 2, I get backstab back. So this would be really bad to pull that. -2, I succeed. I succeed by 2, so I get this back. I get the money back from high roller, and I've gone ahead and killed the dog watchers. Awesome, because that was the cultist, and the cultist is -2. Enemy phase. So I also did this ability. Let me mark that so I don't try to do that again. Once per game. This cat Tindalos is going to move to Beast Town. Upkeep phase, I'm going to ready high roller. I'm going to draw a card. Can I please get an asset? Oh, trench coat. I mean, it's an asset. Take a resource. Mythos phase. We're adding the first doom back on. First doom on. Oh, my bad. We reset the agenda 1. So first doom on agenda 1 again. Encounter card. Cats in the Mist test 3 willpower. For each one you fail by, take a horror. Well, apparently I'm taking 3 horror because I don't know how I'm getting out of this. I'm very resource poor. Alright, so I'm testing 2 to a 3. Hope for some good luck. Oof! -3, so I take 3 horror. Half my horror amount. Oh, man. I'm going to play 3 for trench coat. And then I'm going to take 2 resources. That's my whole turn. I want to get the hired dogs out too. I definitely need to get some horror shielding. Actually, it's probably more important to do it the other way around. Let me get the hired dogs out. Give you some horror soak. So the hired dogs, Barkham deck only during your turn. Exhaust hired dogs. Fight, investigate. Either attack with a base of 4 or investigate with a base of 4. After the test ends, either pay 1 resource in dog food or discard hired dogs. Is it weird for a dog to hire another dog? Kind of, but it's a thing. So that can be used. It doesn't really help my stats that much. It just gives me a +1, but again, it gives me the soak of 2 and 2, which could be important. So enemy phase, this cat at Tindalos moves there. Gonna be able to defeat him. It's gonna be tough. Upkeep phase, draw a card. It is my personal card. Take the wheel. Skids Drool deck only. Fast play only during your turn. For the remainder of your turn, whenever you enter a location, deal 3 damage to an enemy in that location. Oh, just to 1 enemy in that location. Interesting. Not all enemies. Good to know. Probably played that wrong before. Take a resource. Mythos phase. Second doom on the agenda. Man, I'm very much not set up to do much of anything the rest of this game, which is not good. We get the Meowlathotep. If Meowlathotep is in play, it attacks each investigator in player order. If at least 1 location is lousy with cats, there are 3. Flip the card beneath that location over and spawn it at the location. I do not want to put it on my location. I will put it on here. I'll flip this guy over. So cat riding on a cat. Oh, Jesus. This is bananas. Hunter, 5 health, but it only has a combat value of 2. If you learned the bark of the outer gods parlay, you perform the aforementioned bark, the cat flies off, but the other cat stays. Add this enemy to the victory display, search the encounter deck and discard pile for an estranged cat, and spawn it at your location. Whoo! That's nuts. combat value is a 2. Alright, I think it's not great, but I think this will work. So I'm going to move here, engage with the Catatindalos. That's my first action. My second action is I'm going to try to damage this guy. So I'm going to play over. Oh, before I do that, I'm going to spend. Yeah, I'm going to spend the 2 for take the wheel. Play only during your turn. For the remainder of your turn, whenever you enter a location, deal 3 damage to an enemy at their location. So that's a fast action. Now I move here. I do 3 damage to this guy automatically. He engages. So this take the wheels in play. And now I'm going to play overpower. I'm doing a 5 to a 2. I feel good about that. If I had an extra resource, I would pump it up even more. But 5 to a 2 for 1 damage. If I fail, he does retaliate, so that's not ideal. -2, I succeed. I draw a card. Lone Wolf. Ooh, like that. So that's 1 more damage. Catatindalos is out. And now that was my second action. I'm going to spend a resource to do this move action here. And I get to move 3 locations. And I ignore normal enemy engagement. So I'm going to go 1. This opens up. It's Beast Town. Shroud value 2. Clue value 1. 2. I go in here. I do 3 damage to the cat riding on a Byacat. Or the cat riding on a Byacat. Amazing. Barkham City Pound. I can gain 3 resources once per game. It has 2 resources. It's a parlay test. If I get agility 4, if I succeed, remember that I possess a ball of yarn. That could have been useful. So I do 3 damage there. And now I have 1 more movement. I'm going to go back here. That was my third action. I could spend. I do not have the resources even. You know what? I'm going to go back to Slobber Town. And hopefully it's only 1 resource so I can get further away from that dude. Nope, spend 2 resources. So I guess they're all spend 2 resources, but Slobber Town comes in, shroud value 3, clue value 1. Alright. Not bad. Enemy phase, Byacat comes here. It gives me a damage and a horror. I'm going to put both of those on my hired dogs. Upkeep phase, I draw a card. It's a knife, and I take a resource. Mythos phase, third doom on the agenda. Encounter card, what's going on? An estranged cat. Comes into play, any empty location. When you comes into play, we put 1 doom on it. That's perfect. Because, again, it's not going to advance the agenda any quicker, because we were advancing next Mythos phase anyway. David Rollo, that dog is dapper. Yeah, you are not lying, Mr. Rollo. Phoenix Knight, this whole scenario seems like one gigantic Lovecraftian acid trip. Yeah, it does. It's so good. Ugh. Man, I need my switchblade. I have his knife, but that's not going to be that helpful. Could do a 4 to a 2. He doesn't have retaliate, but he has 5 health. Remember, it's 4 plus the 1 health per investigator. I could try to evade it, but that's a 4 to a 3. Ooh, that could work. Sure, so I'm going to try to evade it. I'm going to play sneak by to get 2 resources. And that's when the thing begins. So I'm up to 4. And now I will use high roller to try to do an evasion. Again, that's the way the timing of this test works. That's all kosher. So I'm doing a 4, 6 to a 3 to try to evade this sucker. Because then I can get the knife out and I can potentially just kill this dude a lot easier. So 6 to a 3. I will commit. So it's how many skulls are -2? So yeah, 6 to the 3 should be good enough. 0, we succeed. I get this 3 money back, and this cat is now evaded. I'm going to now, with my second action, put Lone Wolf in play. Just kind of span this whole thing. And then my third action, I'm going to put the knife in play. So those both cost me 1 each. So I'm down to 2 resources left there. But it should make it a lot easier just to kill that guy next turn. Enemy phase. There are no enemies with Hunter in play. Upkeep phase. He re-readies. High roller readies. Drawing a card. It is nimble. And I take a resource. I'm up to 3. Mythos phase. 4th Doom on the agenda. 5th Doom in play. This flips. We choose a thing to reveal. We'll reveal this one. Oh, yes! Cool. It's the Ghost Cat! Alert Hunter. The enemy has +1 health. If you buried the bones a few meters, which I have, we can parlay. Oh, that's what those were. Well, that's sad. Still, the cat spirit is appeased. And this enemy had this enemy to the victory display. So we'll be able to do that easily. The good thing is that leaves one more location with a one more location that's lousy with cats. So we have to draw on a counter card. Oh, this dude is awful. The prey. This goes with me, and he is engaged with the investigator nearest to a card that is lousy with cats. I hate these dudes in Forgotten Age, and I hate the friggin' rodent killers here. They're terrible, 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 terrible guys. That makes life a little bit harder. So, Lone Wolf. Oh, I didn't take my. No, I did take my resource. I'm going to get a resource for Lone Wolf, so I'm up to 4. Oh, man. I can backstab him. Oh, no, this is great. Throw the knife, but I just have no other weapons out right now. Attack, attack, attack. So I'm going to do a 3, 4 to a 2 for 1 damage is an option. If I throw the knife, it's a 5 to a 2 for 2 damage. I think that's just the way to go. And assume I'll get some other weapons out here at some point. Alright. That costs 3. Yeah, I don't have enough margin. 4 to a 2. He doesn't have retaliate, so I could just try it once. But then I'm going to be really stuck. Nah, I'm just going to throw it. 5 to a 2 for 2 damage to the cat riding on a buy a cat. And boom, minus X. Hex is half the number of Meowsk enemies in play. There are 5 in play, so 2.5, rounded up 3. So glad I did a 5 to a 2. That's 2 damage. This dude is out. And now I'm going to spend 3 resources for backstab. Doing a 4 to a 3. I get a 5, 6 to a 3. 7 to a 3. I need to succeed by 2 to get the backstab back. No, I don't know why I'm doing an agility icon. Oh yeah, I'm using agility instead of combat. Yeah, so that's totally legit. 7 to a 3. Ooh. Wonder if I could. Nah, that's fine. Let me just deal with this guy. I think I could use nimble and then maybe get up there and just do the parlay action this turn, but I'm going to actually want a little more time to set up. So this is my second action. 7 to a 3. Please succeed by 2. -5. Oh, oh, that's terrible. Woo! Man, I pulled that Elder thing a lot. All right. Well, I lost. I don't know why I put the money on there. So all these cards are out. 4 to a 3, 5, 6 to a 3, 7 to a 3. Wow. Well, that sucks. I will try Nimble anyway. 5 to a 3. Hopefully I can evade it, because I'm definitely not set up to attack it. I do want to get my trench coat out to help with some evasion attempts. 7 to a 3, -1. That helps. So he's evaded, and then I can move up to a connecting location by the number I succeeded by. I succeeded by 1, so I can move somewhere else and then figure out how I want to deal with that clown going forward. So enemy phase, upkeep phase. The ghost cat's going to come down here. I'm going to draw a card. It's narrow escape. I take a resource. Mythos phase. First doom on the agenda again. Daniel says, wait, you were doing a second one? I was so bummed to miss the last one and come make my usual pointless Mason references. But now, here's my chance. You got it, Daniel. You're totally good. So, that goes there. And now we pull this. Man, the rodent killers is a nasty, nasty enemy. Mischief and Chaos. Test 4 willpower. If you fail, choose an asset you control and slowly push it until it falls off the table. If you cannot, take 2 damage instead. Cards I call off the table in this way are removed from the game. Well, bye-bye hired dogs. You know, they did their soaking job. So 2 to a 4. I would love the Elder Sign. No! I fail. I place 1 of my clues in my location. I have no clues. But I have to push the higher dogs off the table, and the higher dogs are removed from the game. Fantastic. So I have just no assets at all. It's so bad. Lone Wolf triggers. I get a resource. I'm going to move up here to Ghost Cat. I'm going to parlay with him, and since I parlay with him, he's added to the victory display. Done. I have 1 more action. Put Trenchcoat into play. I don't want to lose any other resources or any other assets. Ooh, but nah, Rodent Hunter, Rodent Killer can reach me there. Never mind. Never mind. I'm going to, with my last action, just move to Mutsatonic University. Upkeep phase. Enemy phase, this guy moves here. Upkeep phase, I'm going to ready Lone Wolf, draw a card, Survival Instinct, and take a resource. Mythos phase, second doom on the agenda. Counter card, Stubborn Cat. Test is to the location with the most clues. A cat is lying on all the evidence at this location. You obviously cannot investigate the attached location. I can test for willpower or agility to discard Stubborn Cat. So I'm not getting the clues at St. Mary's Hospital. Oh well. I mean, even a flavor text on a strange cat, when a strange cat will be defeated, it runs away to the discard pile. If it isn't injured at all, please, I'm not a monster. Great. I'm getting a resource from Lone Wolf. I'm spending 3 resources to put my trench coat in play once and for all. I have no ability to do damage. That was my first action. My second action is I'm going to draw a card. Ugh. Yeah, we're going to draw a card. It is Astral Travel. Garbage. And my third action is I'm going to spend a resource to move 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Enemy phase. Rodent killer is like, where are you going? Ready Lone Wolf. Draw a card. It is sneak attack, and I will take a resource. Mythos Phase, third Doom. Encounter card. A strange cat. Again, good timing with this one as well. Comes in and play into empty location. It comes into play with a Doom on it. Lone Wolf triggers. I need to find my survival knife. I'm going to go up to the Barkham Asylum with my first action. While Bang at the Moon is a fairly common occurrence in Barkham, the howls that escape the asylum are natural. Shot value 4, clue value 1. I can heal 3 horror once per game. Ooh, hello. I can take a horror to parlay. I can test 4 willpower. You overhear a strange way of barking. Baroo, baroo, cat Thulu, woof. To know how to bark that way too, you have to test 4 willpower. If you see, remember that you learned the bark of the outer gods. Great. My second action is I'm going to heal 3 horror. Again, that's limit once per game. So look at me, back to my starting values, but with very little else to show for it. And my third action is I need to draw a card again. Oh my gosh. Where is my switchblade? Enemy phase, he moves there. Upkeep phase, readying Lone Wolf, drawing a card. Oh. Truth beckons, taking a resource. Mythos phase, 4th Doom on the agenda, 5th Doom in play. This readies. If at least one location is lousy with cats, flip the one that is farthest from all locations, slip that card beneath it, and spawn it at the location. What do we have here? This is the final dude, the Dweller in the Deep. Alert, Hunter. Has 4 health, 3 fight value, 2 agility. If you brushed up on cat physiology, oh, I just needed to discard 3 cards there. Then I could parlay with him. You inform the Dweller in the Deep that it has no gills and therefore cannot breathe underwater. The universe self-corrects to the paradox and the Dweller in the Deep ceases to exist. Add it to the victory display. And I only have 2 intellect icons in my hand now anyway, so it doesn't matter. Lone Wolf, I get a resource. Oh, wait, my bad. Yeah, it was like I felt like I was missing something. Yeah, so at the start of the investigation phase, if there are no locations lousy with cats, we advance. There are no locations lousy with cats. As soon as the cat is no longer buried, it's no longer lousy with cats. Awesome. So start of the investigation phase, we advance. You have forced the orders paw. Now their true master, the prowling chaos, has emerged. Can you even hope to stop this awful creature? Spawn the set aside Meowlathotep enemy at a central location of your choice. So central. We'll put it here. It comes into play. It's a hunter. It comes into play with 4 health. Now I'll put it. Man, I just don't like them joining up as a super bad. It has. Yeah, we'll put it here because I can just get by them. It has 4 health plus 1 for each Meowsk enemy attached to it. If Meowlathotep gets plus 1 fight and plus 1 evade for every 2 Meowsk enemies attached to it, while there are 3 more Meowsk enemies attached to it, Meowlathotep gains retaliate and alert, victory point 3. So for each Meowsk enemy in play, attach that enemy face down to Meowlathotep. Yoink, so he has just plus 1 fight and plus 1 evade and plus 1 health. So it's going to have 5 health total. Because there's plus 1 health per investigator for each Meowsk enemy attached to it. Let me get a sleeve here. Make this a little bit less annoying to move around the board. 1 Meowsk enemy as ordered. Alright. Advance to Act 2 and Agenda 2. Well, we're already at Agenda 2. Oh, this would have reset. My bad. That would have reset. Now we're at Agenda 2. Did that wrong again. And now we have Act 2 and Agenda 2. So Act 2 says the cat and the mouse. There must be a way to destroy this cat abomination for good. Maybe catnip? A cardboard box? Oh, length of string? Spend 1 clue, deal 2 damage to an enemy at your location, or 1 damage without provoking a task of opportunity. If Meowlathotep is defeated, advance. And then we have Meowlathotep's scheme. The prowling chaos treads upon the earth once more. Its hiss shakes the foundations of the city. Its screech shatters windows and rends living creatures whole. Its purr, well, okay, its purr is pretty adorable, but everything else is really bad. Great. So now the investigation phase starts, and now I'll trigger Lone Wolf. If I had some clues, it's a good way to do some damage. But again, the way it's indicated, it would trigger an attack of opportunity, but I could, just do 1 damage instead of 2. My problem is that rodent killer, again, failing that 1 backstab is proving very, very painful. Evade, sneak attack. That's 2 damage. I mean, 5 damage is definitely doable. I just hate that rodent killer still being there because that's going to really make the damage and horror add up a lot quicker. Astral travel could be helpful. I did use my special card. I need my switchblade, man. This is going to end with a dog with a switchblade one way or the other, right? So I'm going to spend 3 for emergency cash. I'm going to play emergency cash and get 3. It's the other way around. That's my first action. My second action is I'm going to use my special ability. I move. I'm getting a ride in a car because a human looked at my puppy dog eyes and couldn't say no. So 1, 2, and just going to stay there, just trying to get away from their hunter ability and do it more efficiently. And then with my third action, I'm drawing a card. It's my switchblade! Yes! That's what I'm talking about. All right. Enemy phase. Both these dudes are going to come at me. I mean, I could put them in different locations, same location. It doesn't really matter. Eventually, they're going to still get to me in the hunter phase. Upkeep phase, readying Lone Wolf, drawing a card. It is lockpicks, and I get a resource. So I still haven't seen my basic weakness, which makes me nervous. I really want to get that out of my deck because it's terrible. The agenda, first doom on the second agenda. 6, 7. I mean, it's one of these 7 cards. I mean, do I just pull for it or do I try to kill this dude? It's only 5 damage. Yeah, first doom in the second agenda, and I grab an encounter card. It is Gaze of the Ceiling Cat. Test 5 willpower. That's terrible. Lose 1 resource or choose and discard a card from my hand. I have a ton of cards, so that'll be fine. I'm about to fail by 1,000,000,000. -2. If you fail, place 1 of your clues on your location. I failed by 5. I have no clues. I'm going to get rid of... How many resources? I'm going to get rid of lockpicks. I'm not investigating anymore. I'm going to get rid of Truth Beckons. I'll get rid of Astral Travel. I'll keep the rest of these, and I'll lose 2 resources. This goes away. Investigation phase, Lone Wolf triggers. I get a resource back. Alright, first action, I'm moving. Both of these dudes engage with me. Second action, well, fast action, I'm going to put the Switchblade in play. My second action, I'm going to fight. Can I take 3 horror and 3 damage? I can. So my second action, I'm going to fight. It's a 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5 to a 3. Let me just try to evade Meowlathotep instead, actually. I think that's smarter. So I'm trying to evade. It's a 4, 5 because of trench coat. 5 to a 3. I'm going to make it a 7 to a 3 with high roller. No. Let me think about this. First action. 7 to a 3. Oh, that's going to be a nice combo for next turn. All right, I'm going to... My first action, I would have just pulled a resource. My second action, I move in. And then my third action, I'm fighting with Switchblade. I could just try to evade, too. That's fine. So first action, I moved in. Second action, I'm going to fight with Switchblade. I'm going to use High Roller. 7 to a 3. It's actually +1 bite, so it's a 7 to a 4 because there's one Meowsk enemy with him. 7 to a 4. Yoink. -3. So I only succeed by 1, so it only does 1 damage. So 4 health left. And now with my third action, I'm going to try to evade. I did succeed, so I get that money back. I'm going to try to evade. I'm just going to try to evade the rodent killer because it's going to be easier. So I'm doing a 5 to a 3 against the rodent killer just to try to limit damage and horror here. And yoink, -1, rodent killer is evaded. Enemy phase. Meowlathotep gives me 2 damage and 2 horror. Upkeep phase. Rodent killer emerges, re-engages. High roller readies. Lone wolf readies. Draw a card. Don't be my weakness. It does not take a resource. Mythos phase. Second doom on the agenda. Encounter card. On your tail, if there are no enemies in play, on your tail gain surge. Otherwise, place 1 doom in the nearest enemy to you and test agility X. Nearest enemy to me is either rodent killer or Meowlathotep. I'll put it on rodent killer. If you fail, great. So place 1 doom in the nearest enemy to you and test agility X, which is the evade value. So the evade value is 3. So I'm testing a 5 to a... This is not an evasion attempt. It's just an agility test. So it's a 4 to a 3. And if I fail, he just attacks me, which is fine. Oh, Elder Sign. So I succeed. Deal 1 damage to the next enemy whose location you entered this round. That's interesting. So I succeed. I get nothing. I just get that ability. So I don't take any damage. Alright, my turn. I'm going to try to evade this dude. It's a 5 to a 4. I'm going to make it a 7 to a 4. I'm trying to evade Meowlathotep. I'll make it an 8 to a 4. I'm trying to end this round. Lone Wolf with a trigger 2. Damn, resource 8 to a 4. Oh my god! Oh, that's amazing. I failed. Oh, -5. So I lose those 3 resources. Wow. 5, 6, 7, 8 to a 4. That's really bad. Well, that's different. 5 to a 4. Just try to get lucky. Oof. That was a really bad pull, kids. 5 to a 4. Going once, going twice. Oh, -3. I fell. I will... I can take 3 and 3 and still survive. That's really not ideal, though. 7 to a 4 and try to evade. Oh, man, I gotta save that. It's so bad. What a horrible, horrible pull that was. Now I gotta succeed. 7 to a 4. I don't want to give myself 0 cushion. 7 to a 4! -2. So succeeded in evading this dude. Rodent Killer is going to attack me in the enemy phase. So I'm going to take 1 damage. 1 horror. Meowlathotep re-engages. Upkeep phase. I'm going to get my weakness now. No. Nice. Draw a card and take a resource. I'm up to 6. Mythos phase. Third Doom on the agenda. Fourth in play. Encounter card. Test 3 agility. Testing a 4 to a 3. For each point I fail by, I take a damage. -1, I succeed. Lone Wolf triggers. I get a resource. Let's try this again. I'm trying to evade. It's a 5 to a 4. 3 resources on High Roller. It's a 7 to a 4. I mean, 8 to a 4. Does not the freaking Elder thing. Yay! +1. So I succeed. Meowlathotep is evaded. I'm going to spend 2 resources. I get this money back. I'm going to spend 2 resources on sneak attack. That does give me an attack of opportunity from the rodent killer. So 1 damage on Trenchcoat, 1 har on me. I do 2 damage with, again, sneak attack. And now I'm going to use Switchblade, and I'm doing a 5 to a 4. I can't boost it, but if I can get 1 more damage, I should be able to take care of this clown next turn. A +1 or an Elder thing, and we end this puppy. Not that lucky, but we'll see. Bam! 0! Alright, 1 damage. So up to 4 damage on Meowlathotep. Enemy phase, rodent killer gives me 1 har and 1 damage. I'm just going to get, whatever, I'll just put it on me. So I'm at my max for har. Upkeep phase, Meowlathotep readies. I draw a card. It is Hair the dog. Oh, that would have... What an amazing way to end this. Assuming I don't die during the Mythos phase, which is a big assumption. So that's 5 Doom in play. And what do we get? Ooh. Testing agility 4. If I fail, for each one I fail by, I lose an action. Oh. Well, that's not good. So playing the Hair that, oh, that gives me -2. Oh, that's terrible. That's fine. I'm going to do Hair of the dog. So it's an 8 to a 4. I cannot lose all my actions. Alright, -2. I succeed. So I have all my actions. But now it's -2 for the next test I do. So I'm doing a 5 to a 4 becomes a 3 to a 4 my first action. Again, there's no retaliate for this dude. -2, I fail, place one of my clues. I don't have a clue. My second action, now I'm going to do High Roller with Switchblade. It's a 7 to a 4 for 1 damage. And to finally end this sucker once and for all, bam! Oh my god! Oh, how do I pull the Elder thing again? Oh, that's so stupid! I mean, Lone Wolf triggered. I'm doing a 5 to a 4, and if I lose, I totally lose, which is so amazingly awesome, and really the way this should have gone down. 5 to a 4! No! It's so bad! Oh, that's so gross. Oh, I fell. I die. I succumb to damage and horror. I don't even get to read that. It's so stupid. Daniel, how are you all doing? All good and shiny? Oh yeah. I'm here to post my like. Arkham is just somehow a miss for me, but I will catch some other videos as usual, you know. No doubt. Thank you, Daniel. If you win, will you adopt a dog? No! Zach, it's your fault, man. Zach shows up. Badness happens. I just got attacked by a dog. That was so bad. Like, that's so stupid. Oh, somebody has to run the math on that, man. That Elder thing was so brutal. If you lose, you should adopt a cat. Oh, I totally lost. Oh, that was so bad. That's gross. I mean, I avoided. I still had the actions. I had it set up. I had 2 chances. Oh, man. 7 to a 4. Yoink. Oh, there's a -1. Oh, there's a -4. I still would have won with that, I think. No, I wouldn't have. 7 to a 4. That would have won. There's the Elder thing. How did the Elder thing keep coming out? Wow. There you go. There you go. Just making sure there were other numbers in there that wouldn't have killed me. That was bad, guys. That was fun though. What a fun, crazy, crazy scenario. I mean, they give you XP like it's candy, but it doesn't freaking matter. It's not like what are you gonna do with it? Like, it's not like you're upgrading your Barkham deck for any future campaign expansions. But so unfortunately, the order of the Swiss cheese, or what? The order of putting rats on doorsteps. What is it called? The order of the dead rodents on the doorstep has won, and it's coming the animal the household animal world to into dark dark days, which are going to be led by Meowlathotep. That's the way that went down. So, what a good time, man! I thank you for the chat for joining me for this absurdity. This is the kind of stuff that people are going to remember for ages, man. Forget the Maze Night. Forget the Maze Night videos and the Gaia videos, and the Spirit Island videos. Just like, ooh, that Barkham Horror video, the the pinnacle of gaming experiences for sure. But just some bad luck there at the end, and we're not able to pull it out. But one measly piece of damage away. And again, that +1 fight. If it wasn't for that +1 fight twice, we would have succeeded on tests that we ultimately ended up failing. Even if I had one clue, I could have done that. Where was that ability? I could have done. Yeah, I could have done this ability without provoking an attack of opportunity. So just one clue, and I would just been able to put a damage on Meowlathotep and call it a day. But Meowlathotep, I gotta say, is looking mighty fine with its little. I don't know what's going on here. It's like the head's here, and then there's an arm, and there's a cat head just like randomly put on the arm, like it was like Vlad the Impaler style. So craziness, man. All of this is great. It's a great, great scenario. Very fun. Highly. If you love Arkham, like you'll love this scenario. Like it's so well done, and it's goofy, and it's just a nice little change in pace on the Arkham experience. Again, the thing is though, it's a little, like it's a little niche. I mean, you're not going to pull this out to play it more than once a year, maybe, which is fine. I guess there's definitely Arkham scenarios I haven't played in years because I keep going back to campaigns I like more. So, you get your value out of it. Or if you think about like an unlock, like an unlock it or something, or like one of those like escape room games, like you experience it once. I think it's worth the experience. Like if we'll spend how much on games that we don't play more than twice anyway. So I mean, I try hard not to, but you fall into the pattern where it's like you just own too many games and there's not enough time and people are busy. So easier stand there with a -5 is brutal, says Mike. Yeah. Well, the best part is the flavor text on the card, right? It's just like woof. It's so good. It's so good. Um, but yeah, it's a fun little scenario. It plays quick. I mean, just the way the Meowsk enemies come out, and you could see where if things kind of unravel in a certain way, like all of a sudden you might have two, three, four enemies attached to Meowth and they're just that much harder, and you just couldn't get the math to come together. I was not built to do much damage with this deck. I mean, I was really dependent on getting that Switchblade out eventually. I never got to my weakness, which was interesting. It's a really goofy little weakness. Where are you? Yeah, the 13th vision. So this came with the Circle Undone, and it's basically you fail all ties, and you don't realize how many times you win on ties until you have this card out, and you're like, oh, I fail all ties. Like your window of opportunity to win just shrinks by that much. It's a terrible, terrible card. I try to get rid of it as soon as I can. That's why I was trying to dig through my deck a lot earlier to get that out, so I could spend the two actions to get rid of it. And I think I just spent so many actions doing that I wasn't even able to have like one clue in reserve just to do the test list damage on Meowlathotep. So, how would you rate the campaigns, best to worst? I've thought about doing a video on this at some point. I don't know if I'll get around to it. For me, like Forgotten Age is still like my campaign. I just played it so much that I just have a lot of like nostalgia memories with that game. That's really where I learned a lot of the investigators. After that, probably Innsmouth, I think is an excellent campaign. And then I'm gonna go back to the originals. I mean, Carcosa and Dunwich. Um, Night of the Zealot's good. It's just too short. Dream Eaters was really the execution of Dream Eaters should have been a lot better. The idea that you're only getting 3 chances to upgrade your decks means you're not going that deep into the XP cards. And Dream Eaters A is just really, I mean, broken's a strong word in gaming, but like it's a broken campaign for true solo play in a way that I find really kind of short-sighted on the part of the design team. So I'm curious how they're going to fix that, or at least address it in the Return to. I assume they're going to do something with it because it's been a pretty outspoken complaint about that campaign. Not just from me, although I take every opportunity I can to whine about the design decisions on Dream Eaters. And I think Circle and Done just too. There's too many rules. The rules overhead in Circle and Done just gets the game into a level of like I just don't enjoy it because I feel like I'm spending the whole time looking at rules. I mean, you have rules on locations, you have rules on agendas, you have rules on acts, you have rules on enemies. I mean, like that's true to some extent with all Arkham, but it's really taken to another level with the haunted abilities and just the way that Circle was designed. There's just I just don't like it. Although I played it 3-hand with 2 other players, and I had a much it plays a lot better with 3 or 4. And I think because then you could all kind of share in the rules overhead, and the scenarios are scaled a lot better for more players. So circles, you know, yeah. And I'll probably if I play Dream Eaters with 3 or 4, I'd probably like it more than I did. Um, Edge of the Earth started great. Edge of the Earth, I think the first half Edge of the Earth is some of the best stuff in Arkham. The last half though really just was a disappointing dud. I don't understand that last scenario. I think it was very poorly it was just like a very elementary, very poorly designed scenario that didn't create any kind of experience that I cared to redo. Like it was just like, oh, what? Like it was really poor. So I'm hoping to Return to fixes that because I think the first half of Edge of the Earth is just fantastically well designed. I mean, the partner system is great. I think the narrative is really interesting, and there's a lot of awesome elements of Edge of the Earth, but it just ended on such a dud for me, really bad. Edge of the Earth is worse. Great start though. Yeah, I mean it's hard to argue with that. I mean the first half's so good though. Like I have a hard time saying it's the worst, especially when I'm comparing it from a true solo perspective to Dream Eaters and to Circle and Done. But yeah, something went off the rails with the way that scenario ended for sure. Um, Mike says I'm just finishing my first playthrough of Dream Eaters on the last scenario A, moving to Innsmouth soon. Yeah, good luck with that last scenario in A, man. I mean, if you're playing one or two investigators and it just goes horribly wrong, like, yep, just move on. I mean, it's really poorly balanced for 1 or 2. I love Dream Eaters B. I like it a lot. I actually think if Dream Eaters A was of a similar quality as Dream Eaters B, and they were scaled the same way, like I would really like that campaign, even though you don't get that much XP choice. But I mean, A has that weird mechanic where like you have that terrible choice in the beginning, where it's like, do I want to get a ton of XP or do I want to try to get the best outcome of the campaign? Which is A, really hard to do, and B, like kind of dumb because then you get no XP at all, so then you can't upgrade your deck. It's like that's just broken. Like I only have 3 opportunities to upgrade my deck anyway. Why are you taking one away from me if I wanted to try to get the best outcome? Like I think it's really, really poorly designed. Dunwich get to overlook a lot, yeah, no doubt. I had Duke sacrifice to the altar. It was pure love after that point. Yeah, Dunwich is so good. Where I'm playing through it now, we're actually just about to get to Shattered Aeons, the last scenario in Dunwich, and it's just been really fun going through that campaign again. I mean, it's not all great. I mean, there's definitely some times where you're like, they're still trying to figure it out. But the Brood of Yog-Sothoth scenario is could be like a nice little kick in the balls. I mean, it's better, I think, with the Return to. It makes it more interesting. But yeah, such a great campaign. The train I love, although again, I think the Return to actually was one of the few scenarios the Return to made worse. For true solo play, I whine about that a lot in my playthrough of that when I was playing as with oh god, what's his name? Who's the survivor that has Calvin? Oh, I love Calvin. But yeah, that was a rough scenario. Any opinions on 3. Oh no. Third edition versus second edition of Eldritch. I have never played Eldritch Horror, and I have never played. I played third edition Arkham Horror, the board game, and found it to be just a really poor facsimile of the card game. It just, I mean, it seemed like they tried to do too much. I mean, they took all three scenarios. I mean, this the one time I played it, it was the what we were trying to do was basically all of Night of the Zealot thrown into one game. It was too long. It wasn't interesting. It was a little pandemic-y, which is fine if I wanted to play Pandemic. I just didn't. You know, like it was just I found the whole experience like lacking. I mean, the most interesting part for me was to see how they had subtly different takes on the different characters. Like I think Calvin's like a rogue, or Calvin's a guardian, which I found really interesting. But overall, I found the board game experience, the board game as opposed to the card game, I found just to be just a worse version for me and what I want out of a game for sure. The train is dope. Yeah, the train is the return to adds like a recurring enemy, which if you think about the number of recurring enemies you have already in Dunwich, it's a little weird because you have the recurring enemy in scenario 3. Now you have a new recurring enemy in scenario 4. Then you have like a boss kind of thing in scenario 5. Then you have the recurring broods in scenario 6. It's like, yeah, I could have done without the recurring enemy. I mean, the train is one of those scenarios was so good they should have just left it the frig alone. Instead, they added a couple locations that aren't scaled for player count, which is like always a terrible idea. Like, what are you doing? Like that didn't make any sense to me. Yeah, there's I love the return twos, but that one was like a why did you make this scenario worse? Like, but I mean, I guess you could just play the campaign and not play the return two content, but then it's like, what's the point of having the return two? So it kind of puts it in that weird spot now. Phoenix Knight, Mike, having played all three, I prefer second edition Eldridge, and I find third edition to be on two on rails. If you lose the feeling of immersion after a couple playthroughs, cool. Thank you, Eric. For those who don't know, Phoenix Knight does have his own channel. Definitely check it out. He does some unboxing videos. Um, you know, it's I you've been doing like trying to remember. I see like your post online, so you have like I know you've done like some Black Orchestra stuff and some Arkham stuff, and you know some similar. Definitely a lot of overlap in games that we feature for sure. So, woo! We got two more of these suckers. We got Outer Gods and we got Machinations, and so we have God, I can't even remember all the Scarsborough. It was a Trish Scarsborough and Jack and Monterey Jack. So we got the Cheese Man coming up, and we got the Spy coming up. Trish is great, really, really strong. I love actually. I think the muling hunger. I'm pretty sure that that's her special weakness, which is really funny. Um, so they'll be coming up. Looking forward to that. Really like Outer Gods. Haven't played it as much as I played some of the other scenarios. So looking forward to get back to that. Machinations, I've only played in epic multiplayer mode. So looking forward to diving into that a bit true solo. And then we'll have to wait. Winifred, good old Winifred will have to wait until the next side scenario is released. And I'll get her on the channel when that happens for sure. Thanks at Phoenix Knight. I tracked down Lurker, so I'm hoping to get second edition in this weekend. And then Phoenix Knight Variety right now, but I'll be back to my spring campaign for Arkham LCG in May for sure. Very cool. That is about it from me. Thank you for those who joined. And if you joined me for both the first and the second, a special thank you to you because I don't know. I'm just having fun. I'm glad my subscribers and viewers and people enjoy what I do. It really is cool. This is a goofy little project I started over 2 years ago, and I'm like, still look at where I'm at now with it, and it's like, oh, this is it's been a fun ride. So for every one of you had a part in that journey, I really do appreciate all of it. Any likes, comments, epiphanies, please put any comments in, not likes. Don't put likes in the comment section below. That's weird. Give me some likes, please. But any thoughts, comments, questions, epiphanies, put those in the comment section below. If you want to see what's coming up in solo playthroughs, you can go on my Patreon page. The link is in the description below. There you will see a schedule which tells you what I have coming up this month with a sneak peek at what's coming up next month. My live playthrough for next Wednesday will be the 4th chapter of Cloudspire, finishing up the Bronnin story. I will probably only do one chapter of each of the other factions going forward, but I did want to get at least all of the Bronnin on the channel. At what time? Sunday's video is I think my first video of Space Empires 4X. Space Empires 4X is I think scheduled for Sunday, so I'll have that Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I got a lot of editing left on that one, but I'll get that out early next week for sure. And then again, I'll be back here for some Cloudspire. So Mike says you're crushing it, pal. Keep it up. Thank you so much. This has been fun. Everyone have a great night. Thanks for joining me, and until next time, happy gaming.